morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, but most of it has been rudimental and concert percussion, and only a small amount of my time has been on the drum kit. Now, today, I'm working on limb independence, so I'm using the patterns that are out of this book. It's called 50 Ways to Syncopation by Dom Moyle. Highly recommend this book. Dom's a good dude. And the way that I'm also going through this independence, or as Gary Chester would call it, interdependence, is largely based off of some of these books. Now, you can find all of the prior streams to see what I was practicing and how I'm trying to improve as somebody who's been playing for almost 3 decades in this drumming live stream playlist on YouTube. There's over 400 live streams on here, so you can check out how I am having myself while playing limb independence or refining my technique or whatever. Now, because I've been drumming for so long and because I've taught every single grade, kindergarten through doctoral student, people often ask me questions about how to drum or how to teach in the various chats that I have on my other monitor. I will often edit those responses and put them into these videos that has just under 100 videos with some different drumming tips. Every single one of these, the title is the first thing I talk about, and then if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, then that means there's more things in there. So if you check the chapters with the timestamps in the description, you can see all the different topics that I talk about. So if the title doesn't interest you, then maybe something in there does, but I don't know. You do you. Now, all of the play-alongs that I'm using can be found on my home tab of YouTube. There's over 2,000 of them, and they're free, so enjoy them. There's a bunch of chop stuff. There's over 1,000 grid variations. There's all the limb independence stuff that I'll be working on today. Almost 500 marching bass exercises, some drumline cadences, almost 400 technique exercises, and then here's where you can find all the tips, the lessons, the live streams, etc., organized as neatly as I can on YouTube. Now, I'm not good at limb independence yet, so I need Shia LaBeouf here to help get me motivated. We're going to hide him because of copyright. And Shia LaBeouf, help me out. Help me to work on my limb independence. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, yeah, Shia LaBeouf. I'm so motivated now. Thank you. Ooh, an extra flex. Bonus. All right. So today, I'm going to be working on limb independence. Now, the limb independence that I'm working on is, again, out of Dom Moyle's book, 50 Ways to Syncopation. And the very first pattern that I'm going to work on is one that I'm not good at yet. Good morning, Tyler. How you doing? So I'm skipping the ones that I'm good at, like that I can play technically proficient, so like play the ink on the page, or the ones that sound musical, which would be even better than that, so I can add extra timbres, textures, etc., etc. So column A here, it summarizes how I'm doing on these. So for example, limb independence for this one, number 2, is you ding, 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 ding. So you're reading on the snare while you're 1, 2, 3, 4. You got the hi-hat going. But the long notes, so quarter note and longer, will be on the bass drum. So your girlfriend are going to the Crown Home Show? Nice. That's awesome. That sounds like a fun date. My favorite part about shows like that is going to the lot. So that is pattern number 2. That's out of Dom's book. And this keeps track, this spreadsheet for me, keeps track of like all the previous times that I've played this. And on average is technically proficient, which means I don't need to practice it. What I do need to practice are the ones that need a lot of work or are meh on average. So we're doing number 38. So this one is a weird one. We're going to do it at, don't want to try it at maybe 90, 95? Let's try it at 95. She got you a microphone to record the drumline? That's awesome. That's very kind of her. I like personal gifts like that. My wife and I will do like just random gifts, so like not necessarily for like a special occasion, but if I'm just like, oh, I think my wife would really appreciate that, and then get that for her, whatever that is. Anyways. Okay, so the pattern that I'm working on, if you're on the vertical, you can see it right here. If you're on the horizontal, it's right there. But the pattern, ding, 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 okay? And you're reading the pattern on the snare. Cool. Except what makes this one very difficult, especially to warm up with, is you're filling in every single note that you're not playing with triplets on the foot, or rather the feet. So we're going triplet, 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 with the hi-hat filling in with that. So if you were to do this on double bass, you'd hear triplet, 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 okay? Well, ding, 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 ding is going on the right hand. It's a bit of a doozy, so we'll see how this goes warming up. Now, this right here is my website. This makes things organized than I can, more organized than I can on YouTube. So we got the 62 chop exercises, the thousands of grid variations, and then we're finally in the limb independent section. So the pattern that I'm going to play is going to be at 95, and it's swung. So I'm going to go into the swung charts here, this row, as opposed to the straight ones. And there's 55 charts in here, as well as the second video in this that talks about how to actually develop limb independence. You wouldn't start by reading charts and doing all this, etc. Okay, so don't start here. We're going to go ahead and just, sure, I'll start off with this one. That's not the resolution that I would like. Thank you. All right, so in the timestamps of every one of these play-alongs, there are BPMs in here, so you can pick whatever you want. So in this case, I'm going to do it at 95. If I want to play it at 97, I can do that. You can too. Hey, no worries about it, Tyler. Appreciate you stopping in. And I hope you have fun at the show. Okay, so we're going to try this. Again, we're playing the chart with the snare, ding, ding, ding on the ride, while filling in with triplets on the feet. Okay, so slow, but again, we're going to go... Yikes. Wish me luck. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, here we go. I read that wrong. Oh, that was rough. Warming up with this is no good. My brain is like, no, you're not ready for this. Alright, so mentally, I'm going to try and reset here. We're going to ignore that. You did not hear that. Alright, so chart number 27. Trying to get in. Again, filling in with triplets when I'm not playing on snare. That was rough. Okay, it was better than the first chart though, playing through it. So now I'm gonna put it on double bass so you can actually hear the left foot a little bit better. Yeah, this chart will be interesting. A 2, a 1, 2, wish me luck. Why am I warming up with this one? Because it's the next one on the charts that I'm not good at yet. Alright, so now I'm going to put the left foot back on the hi-hat so you can hear how it was supposed to be intended. Ready, and... I read that wrong. Ooh, okay. Last chart. For this pattern, at least. I feel like my mic is, like, too close to me. It's like changing my posture. Alright. Chart number 30. A 1, 2, here we go. All right. Well, thank you, Fernando, for the sub. So that one was not good. We're gonna say it was meh. But for, warming up, that's a hard one to jump right into. But it is what it is. Interesting. Let me investigate real quick. I have a feeling you're gonna get banned. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do a stretch and massage. So, actually, we'll do this one. I highly recommend doing this every single time you're drumming, even on days off. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch the sides of my forearm. So I'm holding my sticks in my palms. I pull in, I push through. I know I just went through that fast. There's a video in the drumming lessons playlist on my home tab of YouTube that It gives you better camera angles for this, so you can see all these different stretches that I'm doing, as well as some stretches for traditional grip, or just rotary motions like Steven's grip if you do that. But I don't do those anymore, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm, so you could do it like this. Ooh, it feels good. You could do 2 fingers at a time, and then 2 fingers at a time if you need a deeper stretch. You could do it on the wall like I demonstrated yesterday. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch. I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this. And then after I finish my stretch routine, which will take just like a minute or 2, then I'm going to do a massage routine, which will take another minute or 2, and then we're going to get into some more difficult patterns. So the next one is actually going to be a mixed meter limb independence. So my hands will be playing in 4/4, but my feet are going to be playing in 3/4 the entire time. And it's rough. It's very difficult. So stay tuned for that. All right, next I'm going to stretch the top side of the forearm. So you could do it like this. You could do 2 fingers, 2 fingers. You could also do this one on your legs, and it goes twice as fast. Or you could do it on the walls like I demonstrated in yesterday's tenor streams, if you want to check that out. But for that one, the higher you go, I can't speak, the deeper the stretch, as opposed to the other one that I've shown you, where the lower you go, the deeper the stretch. And then the very last stretch that I'll do is for the fingers. So I'm just doing thumb to thumb. It makes it go twice as fast. If you want to take your time, you could just do stretching 1 finger at a time, whatever you want to do. But we're going to go ahead and do this. This next pattern that I'm about to do is gonna be very difficult. So not only are you playing mixed meter between your hands and your feet, but you're also changing what drum you play on every 3 beats, but you're reading in 4/4. So it's weird. I guess it's like one word that I could use to summarize it. It is quite the challenge. And based on how the first pattern went, I don't know how this is going to go. Wish me luck. We shall find out. Okay, now that I stretched, now I'm going to do a quick massage routine. So I'm just going to massage the thumb on top, the fingers underneath, working my way up and down the forearm, trying to get relaxed. Do this whole routine once or twice a day, even on days where you don't practice. If you're feeling tight in your biceps or your triceps, massage up there too if you need to. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Since you're on Twitch, I'll just say that all of the play-alongs that I'm using, that I'm demonstrating, are on YouTube, and there's a panel underneath the thing that says, I think, like drumming or something like that. But if you click on that, that takes you to where all the drumming resources are that I'm using. Or if you just go to my YouTube, whatever you prefer, the home tab. Now I'm going to massage the hand. So I'm doing the palm with the thumb, and the fingers are massaging the back side of the hand. And then I got one more quick massage to do for the fingers. And then we'll play pattern number 39.1. It's a variation of pattern 39. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. All right, so the last one. Base to tip of each one of the fingers, massaging your way through it. Trying to relax from the larger muscles to the smaller. The larger parts of the arm to the smaller. Basically work from your, elbow down to the fingertips. But if you're extra tight, you might need to, especially if you wear a carrier, so if you, march, snare, tenor, bass, then your shoulders might feel like this all the time, and you might need to do some stretches for your upper body, shoulder, neck even. But I don't march anymore, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so the next pattern we're going to do, not number 38. We just did this. We're doing 39.1. So let me put this in here so you can actually see it on the screen. Hey, paste. Okay, so 39.1. Complicated, right? Just writing it down like that? Yeah, it's a little weird. So let me try and break it down. Okay, so 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're doing a double time swung pattern. Cool. While you're reading through everything on the snare drum. Cool. So you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but your feet are actually going to be in 3/4 while you do this. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, what makes this variation different than number 39, the point 1, is that every downbeat of the foot, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're going to switch what drum you're playing on. That's the goal, at least. And what's really wacky about this is you're doing that while reading 4/4 charts. So it's not like you're able to just see the downbeat and go, oh yeah, here's where I switch. No, you got to keep track of what your feet are doing and what your hands are doing and where you're playing, etc., etc. So I need +7 energy. Thanks, coffee. I'm going to need it for this pattern. Okay, so let's go back to the charts. So I'm going to go back to my home tab of YouTube. This is where you can find all the thousands of free play-alongs and whatnot. So if we scroll down, limb independent section, and we're doing straight charts. And so we're going straight charts, 100 to 159. We just played through 26 through 30, so I'll just go ahead and go to the next one. There's 55 charts in here, so, you know, keep you busy for a while. Okay, so we're gonna... Oh, since it's 100, we'll just start at the very beginning. And go. Okay, wish me luck on this. This one really messes with my brain. It's so difficult. Okay, 2, 1, and 2, and ready, and go. And so there's a play along that counts off and like keeps track of like what you're playing, so you can stay in time while you're like reading through these charts. It's muted on your end, so you can't hear it, but it's there. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... A little early. Milo, hello, welcome back. Okay. So I have a tendency when I like am supposed to switch, I might switch like an 8th note late or an 8th note early, because my brain is like trying to find where the downbeat of the 3/4 is while reading the 4/4, and it just messes with me. 2, 1, 2, wish me luck. I totally read that wrong. There we go. Yikes. Okay. Chart number 33. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So again, you got to keep this in your brain the entire time while you're reading the 4/4 stuff. It is it is difficult. 1, 2, ready, and Okay. That one actually lined up with the patterns the chart did. So I actually wrote that chart in 3/4. So if you were playing it correctly, like one of these 4/4 over 3/4 patterns, then it would line up on the third chart, and we did it correctly. Yay! Now this one's not gonna line up. 2, ready, and... This is annoying me. Having the mouse just constantly move. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... Yeah, so the hardest part right now for me is just like not switching drums early or just after it, like an eighth note after it. But mostly technically proficient. So I'm definitely making progress on this one. But man, does this like require maximum effort from my brain to be able to play through it. Cool. Okay, so that's number 39.1. What's the next one we're doing? Okay, so we're skipping 40. Because that one sounds technically proficient on average, so we don't need to practice that one. We're doing this one. Okay, so let me paste it in here so you can see it. Boop. Okay, so the pattern. Ding, 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 with quarter note triplets on the snare. The long notes in the charts are going to be on the hi-hat, while the short notes are going to be in the bass drum. Okay, so eighth notes, long notes over here. Okay, so you can do it as a chick or a shup, whatever you want to do for it. 100% up to you. So this is the opposite of what I was just doing 2 days ago, where the short notes were on there, and then the long notes were on the bass drum. Okay. This is why this is 40.1. And I haven't actually played this one before. So as a placeholder, for the ones that I like don't know, I just put like me. So that way I have to get at least 3 times of making it sound decent before it'll like switch over to the average being good. So let's see, last time I played through this, it was at 115. Let's try it at 110. So we'll go a little bit slower for this particular pattern. So starting BPM 110. And so I'm going to go back into the home tab, and I'm going to scroll past all the chop stuff. I'm going to scroll past the grid variation, and I'm focusing on the limb independence section. But I also highly recommend the technique stuff. There's a reason why there's a few hundred of those exercises. But inside of here, I'm going into the swung charts, and since I'm doing this at 110, I'm going to do swung drum charts from 100 to 159. And we just did charts 31 through 35, so I'll just go ahead and go to the next one. Again, I'm just using this to practice sight reading through this. I don't have these charts memorized. That is intentional. I do not recommend memorizing these charts. I recommend you just pick random ones, use any of these limb independence patterns, and just work through it. So that way, if you're like handed a chart in real life at a gig, then you can just be like, yeah, I can sight read this. We're good. Here we go. What pattern would you like me to play? How would you like me to do it? Uh-oh. Why? Oh, no. Okay, so it did... Dang it. It froze again. Great. Cool. Yay, Chrome. Alright, so I gotta close this and reopen it. Whee! Chrome, are you going to work? Maybe. Sorry. It did this to me yesterday as well. That was the first time I did this. So like Chrome like crashes and makes it so I can't interact with anything. And it just like stays frozen on my screen. So I gotta pull up the chats again. Sorry about this. There and there and there. Now it's me talking to me. I only need one, Jared. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate it. Okay, so muted myself and pull that up. I'm so sorry. Why? Twitch chat. Go right there. Thanks, Twitch chat. Okay, I had to close Instagram. Okay, I've got that up. Sweet. And it looks like we're back and ready to go. Maybe. Alrighty, so what we're at, 110. Ooh, I gotta pull this up too. Progress journal. 2 bajillion%. Okay, so this was at 110. Yeah. In the limb independent stuff. And we're going to here. I don't even remember what pattern I'm playing. Right. Okay. Oh, yeah, the quarter-note triplet thing. What was it? 36 through 40? Sure. Sounds great. Oh. Not the resolution I'm looking for. Appreciate the suggestion, YouTube. Again, all of the timestamps in the description allow you to jump whatever BPM you want. So you can select 113 if you want to, or 110. 100% up to you. I do recommend if you're working on like technique or grid variations, that you slow it down. So in the technique streams, I like practice stuff at 40, and I've been drumming for almost 30 years, so it's no shame in doing that. Okay, so ding-a-ding, right? This is what your hands are going to do the entire time. I'm going to lower the volume of that. The eighth notes will be on the bass drum, everything else will be on the hi-hat. 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, so this is 40.1. Now 40 is the opposite of this, where the eighth notes are on the hi-hat and then the quarter notes and longer on the bass drum. So for me, the hardest thing isn't necessarily the coordination, it's just remembering which is going to play what, the short or the long, for the feet playing the melody. Like I wanted to play that as the bass. That very first part. And the snare, keep that low. Like, keep it ghost note height-ish. Like 3 or 6 at most. You don't need to, like... That'd be really annoying. It's just extra timbre, extra challenge. Ready, and... Oops, I read that wrong. Ugh, my nose got so itchy like halfway through that. I was like, focus, pay attention. Anybody else have like a nose that gets itchy? It's always in the morning, not like later in the afternoon. It's when I'm doing the drum streams. My nose is like, haha, hard mode, activate. Ready, and... You find these rhythms super relaxing to listen to? Yeah. Nothing like a nice, like, comfortable, slow swung. Nice. Smooth jazz. Oh, I agree with you, Roy. 1, 2, here we go. Sweet. That's fun, right? Good challenge. So, just slightly different than pattern number 40, but enough to make you go, wait, what? Which limb do I play? It was mostly technically proficient. Had a couple of reading errors in there, but I keep saying it, but Hooked on Phonics did not work for me. All right, so that's 40.1. What's the next one? Okay, this is another one that I don't know. Let's see here. So let me copy and paste this so you can actually see it on the screen. Number 41. And again, this is out of Dom's book. So the number system is coming from here. So number 41 is from 50 Ways to Syncopation. There's 50 ways to, work on Ted Reed's book, Syncopation, as well as the 20 charts in Dom's book or the 55 charts on my YouTube channel. But this pattern here is going to be this. So 16th notes between tom or the ride cymbal and the bass drum. Ooh, hi-hats on 2 and 4. Oh, that's weird. Or you could do it as a floor tom or a high tom, whatever you want. That's weird. But it's a good way to work on your doubles, I guess. Okay, so the snare plays the line in straight eighth notes. Okay. Woo. Okay. I haven't played this one in years. When I first learned this, it was like several years ago. Going through this book, and then I took a massive break from drum kit. So how fast did I play it previously? 90. Well, that ain't happening. Let's try. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. We're going to take some steps back here. So I can't read through a chart yet with this, because the hi-hat on 2 and 4 is weird. That is very awkward for me. So what I'm going to do is go back to the home tab, and the video that says like how to develop limb independence, that's in every one of these like limb independence playlists, has several different steps to go through, from very basic to the more complicated, where you're like actually reading through charts, adding in different timbres and textures, etc. What I'm going to do is take a couple of steps back on here, and I'm going to work on some permutations. This is a video I was referencing, by the way. So eighth note permutations, we're just going to start with variation 1. And I'm going to try this at 80, I think. And let's just attempt to throw ourselves into the deep end a little bit here, and let's just play through it and see what happens. Odds are it's going to fall apart. Totally cool. I'm anticipating that. 1 and 2, and here we go. Yeah, it did exactly what I thought. I'm going to turn on my metronome in my earbuds, or earphones, headphones. Okay, so this, we're taking another step back. Okay, so now I got some sound going through that. I don't know if you can hear it at all. So the metronome. So I'm going to just sit with each one of these measures until it starts to sound comfortable, and then I'll just move on to the next measure. So I might play it through it like 1, 2 times. I might play it through 10 times. We'll see. So, and, so this is the ostinato pattern. This is the pattern that doesn't change, ideally. Weird. I can't even speak while doing it. It's so weird. Next measure. Okay, that's better. Oh, it's so weird getting that to line up with that. You're new to drumming, less than a month. You've got sticks, and you play on books. Yes, my feel don't like... Yeah, your feet don't like to do coordination yet. So the that video that I was showing, the how to develop limb independence, start with something very basic. So if you want to be able to work on your feet, just start with this. Just play eighth notes. And then add in, just like I'm doing with the permutations that you see on the screen above you, start with just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then you go to the next measure, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, etc. Then when you get to like be able to play this like whole variation and all these other like permutations that are in here, the other variations in this playlist, cool. Once you get that down, now try 1, 2, 3, 4. Add in snare on 2 and 4, and then you're reading the bass drum. Obviously, you'd repeat these if you're actually playing these. Going through it. And then eventually you can read through the charts, and eventually you can even try it with 16th notes. But what I'm doing right now, don't try this with 1 month into it. I've been drumming for almost 30 years, and this is not easy. So, FYI, we're in the hard mode of limb independence. But there's a lot of drumming tips and thousands of exercises on my home tab that can help you, regardless of if you're a beginner or have been drumming for a long time. Okay, so I'm going to start on the 4th measure of the ones. Nope. Flawless. Jefferson, thank you for the sub. I appreciate ya. Man, this is requiring way more of my brain. And by the way, I would actually play this on the floor tom. I would not play it on the high tom. It just sounds funny. If you're supposed to do that, it would be intimidating. Yeah, don't try this. Don't try this. Start with simple stuff. Start with basics, okay? The limb independence video, the how to develop limb independence, is drumming tips number 50. That one has much easier patterns than this. I'll show you some other variations that you can do. Like once you get 1, 2, 3, 4, once you get that down, then you can get in more complicated stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. This is like a few months into it, maybe. You do like a V pattern where you're moving like this. Okay, then you just reading it on the foot. Like that's getting more difficult. But the stuff that I'm trying on here where I'm like triple it, triple it, triple it, triple it. Don't do that. It's just difficult stuff. Like not registering. So this, if you were to play this fast, like it would sound cool, but I can't play it fast yet, so it sounds bleh. Honestly, it doesn't sound like it's coming through my headphones, so I'm gonna just put it back on here. Ready, indigo, and... So I'm playing with drum triggers on these like mesh heads and the low volume cymbals. So like you could be in an apartment complex and it'll sound way quieter for your neighbors. So like my wife can be in the next room and like on a phone call, and they like people on the other end of the line will have no idea that I'm drumming. Which is why I use these, but sometimes I can't hear them through my headphones because the triggers don't pick it up. So what I'm doing right now is I've taken a step back, so I'm not playing the permutations yet. And I'm just trying to think or do something different while I'm playing through the ostinato pattern. And it's starting to feel a little more automatic. It's still messing with my talking a little bit. But now I'm going to try reading through the patterns again. We'll just start with the ones again. Okay, so now I'm going to try the twos, so the next line. Got out of time. I started playing 16th notes. Now, Rhea, I will say that even though I'm playing something that I don't recommend you doing if you're new, how I'm practicing this is what you should pay attention to. Not what I'm playing, but how I'm just sitting with something. So when you're on your kit with a metronome, and you're also like sitting there for like a minute or two, just playing something over and over, and it still doesn't sound good, and you're just like slowly working on it, that's normal. That says nothing about like you or being a bad drummer or anything like that. Like, I don't like to mention it, but like, I've won multiple awards, some international awards as like a performer, as an educator, as a scholar, etc. And you're hearing me struggle a lot with this. This is normal. This is how your brain works. We're trying to train our brain to be able to do this right. Okay, that feels better. Threes. Why is that one giving me a struggle? Okay, on the third pattern of the threes. So it gets to a point where it's like breathing. Yeah. Also give yourself time in between for your brain to sleep on it. That's when your brain processes things. Okay, so the incubation time in between, let me turn off the net, is super important. So with the way that our brains work, when you sleep, that's when you're actually processing stuff to try and remember to get better at things. So you could just like sit there and practice one thing over and over all day. But if you also give yourself time to sleep on it, then it'll get a little bit better. But since you mentioned paradiddles, I will say that when you're playing a paradiddle, or any rudiment, like whether it's like a flam drag or a paradiddle, however you're doing it, like if you're doing a paradiddle, you can just play it on one drum, paradiddle, or you can switch, and then you got a really cool ride pattern if you're doing this. Now when you're playing a paradiddle, right, left, 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 if you're thinking of that while you're playing it, eventually your brain won't be able to process it fast enough. So right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left. So what I'm actually doing when I play faster is I'm thinking right, left, 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 right, left. So I'm playing fast paradiddles, and I'm thinking of the group, not each of the four notes, or like a paradiddle diddle. I'm not thinking of 6 notes, I'm just thinking right, etc. So if you're practicing something, think of the larger groupings, just like if you're reading a word. You would not read, like, if we were to pull this up, ATHNOTEPERMUTATIONS, like I would read eighth note permutations, not each one of the individual letters. So you're reading through the grouping of things. Same thing for processing rudiments in order to play it faster with your playing. In the instance for what I'm doing, whether I'm playing like this pattern, or if I'm playing like a bione, the idea is to get it so that your brain just like can put that on like play and just hit like the automatic mode, and then you're just reading through whatever limb is playing through whatever it is that you're playing through. So speaking of, I'm going to attempt to play through this permutation. So I'm going to just back up, and we're going to try this again at 80. 1 and 2 and wish me luck. This is gonna be a rough one. Okay. Let's see. So we just played through that at what, 80? Yeah. So it was meh. I made progress on it, but it's not comfortable yet. So permutation. So that'll be my reminder for next time. This is where I'm starting with the permutations while working on this one. Yeah. So now let's actually. What I recommend after you spend the majority of your time practicing, like the last hour, we just worked on patterns I'm not good at. So 38, 39, 40.1, and 41. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick review of one that I am comfortable with, as opposed to focusing on stuff the entire time on it. So like your last 5 to 10 minutes of like an hour or so, just work on something for fun. So that way when you end your practice session, you'll be like, yeah, that was great. I didn't just sit there and grind something out for an hour straight. I had fun the whole time, even though you might spend the majority of your time practicing something difficult. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see here. Ooh, okay, so I really like this one. This one is a little bit more involved, but it's so much fun to play through it. I'm going to do it. Let's actually do it at 130. So the pattern is complicated, but let me see if I can break it down to make it a little easier to follow. So this, you're gonna go practice now? Yeah, have fun with that. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment or stop by future streams. But in the drumming tips videos on my home tab of YouTube, so if we go back here, there's over 13 hours of free drumming tips, and it's from things I've learned drumming for almost 30 years. And then again, I've taught every single grade, kindergarten through doctoral student, been teaching since 2003. So a lot of teaching experience. So if you want some tips on how to get better, this playlist has just under 100 videos in there. And then there's also some scripted lessons if you want that. So you can get some like pointers on like how to, like what exactly is touch when drumming, how to improve the second note of a diddle, how to practice multiple instruments. So if you're practicing like drum kit and marimba and I don't know, flute, like there's some tips in there. So there's a lot of videos in here with tips from people who've asked questions on these different live streams and whatnot. But all right, so the pattern that I'm working on for this one, just to kind of review it. So we have ding, 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 cool. This is what you normally do. 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, ride pattern. But instead what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the charts on the tom while you fill in with ghost note triplets. So if you have quarter notes, you go triplet, 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 triplet. You're gonna play it nice and low as it goes ghost note on snare. Okay, but the long notes, so quarter notes and longer, are actually gonna be on the bass drum and the ride. So etc. Okay, so this one again is a little bit more complicated, but it's so much fun to play and it sounds great. You could play this as a fill, you could play this for like a drum solo, whatever you want to do. That's up to you. So we're going to do it at 130. So I'm going to go back to my home tab here. We're going into the limb independent section right here. And we're going to go into the swung charts at 130. So the swung charts right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the first 5 charts for fun. And we're going to go into the timestamps, 130. And it's going to count off. And then I'm going to play along and hopefully have a grand old time. Two, ready, and ding, 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 ding. The count off interrupted my little jamming. Okay, so 2 and 4 stays. You're reading eighth notes on the snare, long notes on the ride and the bass drum while you fill in ghost note triplets. Whoops, read that wrong. Weird, right? It's fun though. This is like a more advanced version of pattern 3 right before it, where you don't play long notes on like the ride and the bass, you just play everything on the tom. For each one of these charts, I'm like talking in between, but you could like improvise here. Turn it into like a solo, and then you just go back into reading the charts. And it says at the top of every single one of them, the very first line. Once you get comfortable and you can play the ink on the page, so you can play the charts as written, start adding in different dynamics, different textures, hit different parts of the drum, or just different drums and cymbals entirely. Make it musical. One, two, a 1, 2, last try. Fun, right? Complicated, but fun. Great way to like read through a fill, a big hit with a big band when reading through charts, etc. Cool. Is musical, or is adding in different textures, different timbres, or is changing the dynamics around? I'd sometimes make the ghost notes on the snare and not ghost notes. I would sometimes like bring them out and hit them as a rim shot just for fun. But yeah, that is what you ideally want to be able to do when you get through this. But for the majority of my stream, for the very first hour, I was working on the stuff that I was not good at. And I highly recommend that for you too. So when you're practicing, don't just practice the stuff that you can do to like show off, like, hey, I know how to do this thing really good. Great. When you're practicing, it's for you to improve, not for you to show off for other people. So focus on the stuff that you're not good at yet. And then eventually you will get good at it. And then you'll be like, I don't need to practice that as much as I need to practice this other thing. Now, the book that I was using, again, all these different patterns are from here. 50 Ways of Syncopation by Dom Moyle. Highly recommend it. This is not like a paid sponsor or anything. Dom doesn't even know I'm doing it. He's just a good dude and really good drummer. But he's got 20 charts in there. You can play these limb independence patterns with Ted Reed's book Syncopation, like the solos at the end, or the 55 charts on my home tab of YouTube, where you'll also find over 2,000 exercises in here. So we've got 62 chop exercises in here. We've got over 1,000 grid variations. You actually have to click on the header to expand to show all of them. So in this playlist, there's 420 videos for a triplet grid. There's 578 for 16th note grid. And if you scroll down, there's 36 wacky ones that are like Herta grid and accent only grid, etc. All the limb independence playlists, all of these ones that I was working on today while practicing, the second video shows you how to develop limb independence. So, for example, that I think pattern number 41, where I was doing it on the tom and the bass, I'm not good at that yet. So I had to take some steps back while practicing this, and that's okay. So if you are starting at very step one, like working on this, the video can still help you out. So this one, how to develop limb independence, and you'll use these like different permutations to be able to work through that. If you are a marching bass drummer, there's also just under 500 exercises to help you out with your marching bass, as well as some cadences if you're in a drum line. And then there's the technique exercises. There's just under 400 of these. And this one, you also have to click to expand. So if you want to work on your endurance and speed with your hands or your feet, check out this playlist. It's got 61 videos in it. And if you want to work on stick control, well, in this one, there's 15 videos in the stick control variation. So there's a ton of different technique exercises to work on. If you're not sure, like, how do I actually practice this? What am I looking for? I'm self-taught, or like I don't have anyone to study with, etc. The Drumming Tips has over 13 hours of tips in here from people that I've learned over the decades that I've been drumming, as well as the drumming lessons. These are more scripted and much shorter. If you check them out. And if you want to see me practice and have myself on things I'm not good at yet, there's over 400 practice streams for that. If you see a video, one of the 460-ish that are currently members first, like if I click right here, this one, that means it's scheduled to release for free. So this one comes out on Friday for free. But if you sign up for membership for 99 cents, you get early access to like the 400 and some odd videos that I've got. That'll come out over the next year and a half, a new one every single day. So, stay tuned for that. It's all going to come out for free, so you don't have to sign up for membership. I don't sell an app. I don't sell a book. I don't sell a course. I don't teach privately anymore. So all this stuff is free to you, unless you want early access for 99 cents, which thank you for the members who have signed up, but you don't have to do that if you don't want early access. Just wait. It'll come out. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to get ready for the game Stray. So probably in about 15 minutes, we'll go through that. And I think I might finish the game today. It depends on how much time it takes. But I hope you have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.